Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I hope you're well. Today, I'm here to share a segment on healers and healing. Healers and Healing is a series that I created to help healers understand how to take their work in the world, how to hold space, and how to really be more effective healing arts practitioners. So, if you're new here, welcome, welcome. I'm Brighid Murphy. I'm a shamanic practitioner and a mentor for healers and healing arts practitioners who want to align with their fire so that they can take their work into the world. So, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you're here. I offer online sacred mentor programs. I offer group intensives and trainings. I offer a sacred training for healers. I offer shamanic training. I offer many things. And at the in December, I'm going to be offering up or opening up a healers collective, which I can tell you about later. So today's topic. Today, I chose this topic because it's so important for us to be discussing and expanding our awareness around. And so, amplifying your ability to hold space. That's what our topic, that's what this series this week is about. And so, I'm going to give you practical ways to ensure that you're holding solid space. I'm going to talk about what that means and how to ensure you're doing it in an effective way. So I've broken it into three parts. I always have a lot to say, there's always so much. So today is going to be about establishing the container. Wednesday will be about creating protocols for space holding. And Friday will be about fundamentals of healing. That segment is not going to be what you think it is. So we're going to start today with establishing the container. I like to keep these healers and healing segments short and sweet and packed with information. One of the things that is important to me is that the information that I share with you is actionable, things that you can take action on, because that's how we create change and that's how we really hold space for ourselves and other people we work with. So if you're hopping on live, say hello. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Christine. Thanks for joining us. Glad to see you. I always like to know who's coming into my container and who's here. So if you're watching, say hello. And as we move into today, establishing the container. First, I want to talk about what do I mean when I say container. A container, in the context of this work, is something or someone that holds a space for healing. A container for healing. A person who's a container for healing doesn't control the healing, doesn't hold it tight, doesn't hold a ton of expectations. They're a bowl without a lid. So hey Tammy, when I talk about a container and that you are a container, that's what I'm referring to. A container that can pour versus a container that has a lid that's clamped shut like Tupperware. Not like that. So when you are a container for energy, you have a responsibility to maintain your container. And one of the ways, hey Cheryl, one of the ways that you can maintain your container is to be able to be in command of your energy. We have a lot of folks running around out there who are not in command of their energy. And the good news is that it only takes a few tweaks, a few practices, and really the decision to own this vessel and be in command of your energy. Now, that doesn't mean that you are in control of every single thing and that you're controlling your energy 100% of the time. Being in command is different than being in control. So we're talking about being in command. And when you are in command of your energy, when it goes way out there, or when you have a whole lot of shit that goes down, you can bring your focus and your awareness back, and you can call in what you need to call in to get yourself back on track. That's part of what I mean by being in command of your energy. And I'm going to share about 5 different practices, concepts, things that will help you to be in command of your energy. They'll help you to wrangle yourself. Because if you are holding space for other people, you do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be some high and mighty ascended master guru healed from all being. That's not how this works. People don't relate to you if you're on some perfect pedestal. You need to be real, and you need to be able to have your experiences, and then bring yourself back to center so that you know how to utilize your experiences in a way that's helpful for people. So, being in command of your energy. Y'all know the basics, right? Eating well. Hey, Barbara. Yeah, say hello if you're hopping on live. I'd love to know who's here. So, eating well and exercising, drinking water. We know we need to do these things. And if you are holding space for other people, you really need to do these things. Managing our emotional stress, which sometimes is super high, sometimes low for processing things. We're going to have more emotional stress than if we're not processing something. But managing that and making time for that is super important. Um, and I'm assuming that y'all know how to do that, that y'all do that already. You cannot exhaust yourself and expect that you're going to hold a good space for other people. For instance, for me, my whole world is about service. That's what I'm here for, and I'm clear on that. And in order to be able to fulfill that role, there are certain things in my life that I need to do, right? I need to take care of myself. I need a lot of downtime. I'm super sensitive, and I need to be able to regroup before I go out and do the next piece of whatever it is in my life. So that means that I have to schedule in extra time, say no to things that are not going to serve me, so that I can be more in command of my energy. So understanding what you need and not exhausting yourself so that you can be a stronger container and be in command of your energy. We all go through periods where we get a little more exhausted. Right now, I've got like a couple of things going on that are very exciting, but they're a bit time consuming. And so I need to make sure, I know that this period of time is going to be a little extra, right? So I recognize that. I cannot I cannot function in my life with extra all the time. Let me take that back. I could function in my life with extra all the time. I could not be fully of service to people that I serve if there was extra in my life all the time. So, knowing that you cannot exhaust yourself and hold good space, it just doesn't work. Healers are not meant to be holding everything and helping everybody all the time. That's a myth. You need to take care of you. Hey, Jenny, so glad to see you. Thanks for hopping on. So, the first piece around being in command of your energy, in addition to eating well, drinking water, taking space, all that stuff should be basic if you do healing work already. Having a regular practice where you root into the earth, tap into a source that's bigger than you. That can be in the earth, that can also be through the sun or the energy of the cosmos. Tapping into an energy that's bigger than you so that you are not doing all of your work and all of your space holding on your own. Everything goes better when you're rooted into the foundation of the earth, you're rooted into the foundation of the land that you live on, and when you're rooted into some type of energy that's bigger than you. Call it God, call it divinity, call it spirit, creator, all that is, whatever you call it, being connected to it is going to help you. You don't even need to be religious to be connected. It can be just life force, breath. You need to be connected to something bigger in order to be able to be in command of your energy and hold solid be a solid container for others. So that's the first piece. The second piece, hey Deb, good to see you. The second piece is about joy, being in your joy. When you are in a flow that incorporates joy, it's easier to extend that to other people. Now, make no mistake, when I'm talking about being in joy, I am not talking about being happy and positive all the time. Love and light, everything happens for a reason. It's all good. That's not what I'm talking about. That's actually another segment called spiritual bypassing that I cover elsewhere. I'm talking about a joy that you find in your heart that connects you with a deep, deep sense of love and expansion. There's a difference between joy and happy. And joy, being in the flow of joy, is really important as someone who holds space. I know a lot of healers can get really serious about their roles of service. And by moving yourself into a place of joy on a regular basis, you will actually be able to be of larger service to the planet. And the good news is that joy is something you can cultivate through practice. Through practice. So that's the second piece that's important for establishing your container. First piece is to root into something bigger and deeper than you so that you're not doing all your work alone. Second piece is to be in your joy. And if you have questions, you can ask them. If you're just hopping on live now with me, say hello, let me know you're here. Love to know who's here. The third piece is to experience and work with gratitude. Now, I know that folks are familiar with gratitude. There's books written on gratitude. There's memes all over the place around gratitude. And we all know that it's important to appreciate what we have. But actually, what I'm talking about is a little bit different. It's a little bit like an expanded version of that. And what I mean is being in gratitude, not just for what you have, but offering gratitude ahead of time. When you offer gratitude ahead of time for what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you're doing. For instance, if you're doing healing work for a person, for the planet, for the community, for yourself, offering sincere gratitude ahead of time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the healing that's about to occur with this person, this client, this friend, whoever you're working with. Thank you. You can thank all that is. You can thank your personal helpers. You can thank whoever you want. Thank you for this deep understanding that you're giving me. When you create and bring up gratitude ahead of time, you open up your heart space and you link yourself to the outcome that you want. You create a resonance with it. And that ensures healing for the person that you're working with. It's a beautiful practice to help establish the container that you're working in. Gratitude ahead of time. And that's the third piece. The fourth piece is pretty practical. Setting up your physical space so that you have a small altar or sacred table that's dedicated to healing, dedicated to spirit, dedicated to the unseen forces of help that are going to be guiding you. Because if you do healing work, you're a healing arts practitioner, y'all know you're a conduit. You're not doing it yourself. And if you're a conduit, what is it that you're conduiting? What are you bringing through? You're bringing through a force that's greater than you. And there's no better way to establish this container, establish your container, than to honor that force that's doing the healing. So have a small altar or dedicated sacred table. Simple. Keep it simple. If you don't already have one, keep it simple. I think I have 10 videos on creating altars. So having an altar and on a regular basis, calling in, welcoming in that healing and helping force that moves through you. So that can be for 30 seconds in the morning when you wake up, welcoming in the healing forces by whatever name you choose. It can be by meditating, or oh gosh, meditating sometimes has like a bad, like people are like, oh, I can't meditate. Holding dedicated intentional space for 2 minutes before you work with people, where you are reminding yourself of that healing force that is coming through. Opening the space above you and the space below you so that really energy pours through you and your conduit is open. Creating time to be in that space that you create, your altar space, your sacred table, being in that space before you do healing work. That helps you to establish the container. And the container is here. We are the container for healing. And we also, the extension of the container, part of the container is in our physical space. Any questions you have, make sure you pop them in because I'm happy to answer them. Okay, so that's the first 4 pieces that I have around establishing your container. The 5th piece around establishing or maintaining this container is to know yourself. To know yourself. You can be the most amazing healing arts practitioner in the world. And if you're not paying attention to what's going on in here, you're not going to be able to continue to hold space for other people. And so, a couple of ways to do that, because we could go on and on about this piece too. A couple of ways to do that are to pay attention to when you need support, whether that's therapy, coaching, your own healing work, like shamanic healing or acupuncture or Reiki, whatever it is that you do for yourself to make you feel better and support you. Recognizing when you need that and actually building that into your regular part of self-care. But recognizing when you really need it and making sure you're doing it. And also paying attention to when your self-doubt is coming up and keeping that in check. Because this container that you set by doing all the things we just talked about can quickly come to its knees when self-doubt comes in. And yet, self-doubt is one of the main things that holds healers and healing arts practitioners back from taking their work in the world. I can't tell you how many people I know who wind up staying behind the I'm not ready curtain forever. Because that self-doubt, it's a big one. So recognizing when that comes up, in addition to all the other stuff you take care of for yourself, your emotional stuff, recognizing when that comes up and investing in a process or a program that's going to help you to move through that self-doubt. A lot of what I do with my healers that I work with is give them ways to work through that self-doubt because it's essential in maintaining this container as healthy. So those are the 5 pieces that I have for you today. If you're just jumping on now, you can watch the replay. 5 pieces, 5 important things that you need for establishing your container. Recap. Eat right. Do all the things to take care of your body. You all know that already. So the first relevant thing is to make sure that you're rooted in to the earth and what is real, and that you are not taking everything on without acknowledging and welcoming in the healing and helping forces. Second piece is being in your joy. Joy opens your heart, which allows you to be a more open and effective healing conduit and healing practitioner. Number 3, offering gratitude ahead of time, also connected to your heart. Gratitude ahead of time opens up your capacity to hold space and connects you to the outcome that you want for yourself and the people you work with. And then the fourth thing is setting up your physical space, small altar, sacred table, and working with it so that you have a place to welcome in spirit on a regular basis. Welcoming in spirit, by whatever name you call it, the larger force that runs through you as a conduit, welcoming in that space on a regular basis. I think I listed some ways to do that earlier on. And the fifth part of establishing, maintaining your container is knowing yourself, paying attention to when your own emotional needs or your healing needs need to take the forefront. Getting that massage, getting that Reiki session, that shamanic healing session, that acupuncture session, that coaching session, that program, whatever it is, doing it. Because you cannot hold space for other people when you're on empty. And in order to continue to grow and expand, you need support. I have my own supports in place that I tap into and have for myself so that I can hold all that I'm holding. And you should too. So a part of knowing yourself and knowing when you need that is paying attention to self-doubt and having a plan for working through that. It's a process that you can put into place when the self-doubt comes up. So those are the 5 pieces. I feel like I could go on for 3 hours, but I'm going to stop here because I like to keep this short and sweet. Five parts that are essential for establishing your container. If you have questions, please let me know. I will be back to share the next part in this series Wednesday of this week, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The next part in this series is creating protocols for space holding. So first we talk about establishing this container. And there are at least 1 or 2 actionable things that you can do just from hearing this between now and Wednesday, where we will talk about creating protocols for space holding. So, and then Friday, what are fundamentals of healing. So today, Wednesday, Friday, all are all part of a series for amplifying your ability to hold a healing space. And actually, as I look at your comments, let me know one thing that you took from this that you can and will implement in the next couple days. I'll give you plenty of suggestions. So yeah, go ahead and type that into the chat, whether you're watching live or the replay. One thing that you'll take from this and implement it. All right, so we are complete for today. Amplifying your ability to hold a space for healing, part 1 in the series. If you are interested in Healers Collective and know you want information about it now, I will be talking about it next week. But you can just write in the comments Healers Collective and I'll know to ping you when I have more information. All right, thank you so much. Oh, I'm reading your comments. Gratitude ahead of time. Yes, Christine, that is a game changer. I remember when I first realized what that was and how to do it, and I've been doing it ever since. So awesome. I'm glad that you're taking that one away with you. Anybody else can type into the comments. Accept and live your joy. Yeah, what's one thing that puts you in a place of joy, Deb? For me, one of the things that puts me in a place of joy is to recognize how much I am supported by spirit and how much I am supported in doing my work. That brings me a great sense of joy. Hey, Derek, thanks for joining us. Yeah, you're welcome, Christine. You're welcome, Barbara. Adding more time for you, self-care. Yes, absolutely. It really is one of the biggest things that healers and healing arts practitioners forget to do, and they don't realize their tank is on empty. It's almost like taking a vitamin. You know, we take vitamins on a regular basis, not because we're sick, but because we want to stay well. And more time for you in any of the ways helps you to stay well, which then allows you to amplify your ability to hold space. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Great, Lisa. Awesome. And I know you know how to do that. So that's beautiful. All right, y'all. That's the first part of this series. I'll be back on Wednesday and I'll see you soon. Have a